is the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and Krissy Vann. That's me. And we're taking you on a little off-roading.
And every single week, we're going to be joined by our dope friend, Richelle from True Grit Moto.
Woo! Hey, I floss.
And every week, we are going to ask each other stupid questions, and we're going to answer them. And why, you may ask? Because we can. All right, this is your Motovation
Off-road edition.
We just had amazing convo, and then we're like, just
right?
Yeah,
We're just in it.
Fuck.
we haven't even started. And then
We haven't
I'm
even
like,
started.
and I'm like,
Okay.
we gotta record this.
We'll be brief with this one because this
Don't.
one scared me.
Please don't.
No rush.
Okay, so I got this mirror from this lady. It was $15. It was like a long rectangular one, like about the size of my body. And I put it on the wall beside my bed with those stickers that are like Velcro. You Velcro it to the wall so you don't damage anything, and it just is there. I go to sleep that night, and in my dream, I'm looking at what is potentially like the layout of my bedroom, but it's somebody else's bedroom. And there's a hat and a sweater on the door handle that looked worked, like somebody had done some sort of really heavy duty, hard, like maybe welding or construction. And the mirror is exactly where it is beside the bed. This room is dark. Okay. I like flip around in the bed and I'm facing the opposite direction of what the door is, which is to my left. And I'm in a whole nother bedroom. In my dream, I've flipped around and I'm in a whole nother bedroom. And in this bedroom, it is seedy. It is, I am a bad person. Like whoever I am,
no.
I am not a good person. And I can feel it. I can feel all the things that I've done. I can feel that that's not just construction dirt clothes. That's like, I've done some bad things to people. And as I'm in this position, I suddenly start to feel who I am personally. Like I am actually Richelle, and I am taking over somebody else's thought, mind, eyes. And my body goes, you need to flip back around. And as I flip back around, that's when my body, Richelle, notices I'm not in my bedroom and I am not okay. I go to wake up. I'm not waking up. I am in this bedroom and I am not going anywhere. So I go to like kind of like do my get out of this space.
Yeah.
And I just fully close my eyes, and I really like it. I'm already eyes closed, but I fully close my eyes as if I am this person to recognize what my actual bedroom is like. And I just like wake up. And as I wake up, I'm still in that room, but then it slowly fogs back in that I'm in my room, and it's my hat on the door, my sweater hanging. I'm okay. I got up right away. It's 3 a.m. We all know what happens at 3 a.m. And I rip that mirror down. I like literally just take it down right away, put it over by the front door, cover it in a blanket. I go back to bed, and I'm just not going to bed. And I call Megan the next day and I'm like, we need to cleanse this mirror. So we took it out to the ocean, because that's what you got to do. You got to take it out to the ocean, put it in the water.
How did you find that out?
Yeah.
Megan told me, she was like, this is what you need to do. You need to put it into the water and release whatever bad energy or good energy for that matter, and refresh the mirror. I have photos of it actually, of us going out and me standing by the mirror. And it's really funny because that mirror is now up in my living room and I work out in front of it all the time. Totally fine. I got another mirror recently. It's an oval MCM vintage style mirror that I went to go put on my wall. And as soon as I put it up, I felt this old lady. And I was like, nope. So now it's in a box at my front door. Like that needs to be cleansed.
Waiting to go to the ocean.
Wild.
I know there's just something about mirrors. Like I've had absolutely good experiences with mirrors, and they say to not put them in certain spaces for energy, because in the world, there's these lines that the afterlife likes to cross. And if you put a mirror in that line of sight or in that path, it gives full allowance for that energy to come into your world and live in that space where that mirror belongs. So you have to, when I put a mirror up, I absolutely look up the grid of what the afterlife path is, and I go offset it. And you never are to put a mirror facing another mirror either. Or if you're going to put anything just offset it. So that way it's this off path. Like there's a full spiel on how to put a mirror up.
Okay, so I don't know much about mirrors or this and find it fascinating, but the one thing that I do know, the superstition, if you break a mirror, it's 7 years bad luck. So do you hold to that, or is that affiliated? Now I have questions.
I feel interested about that one because I've definitely been a little worried that if I do break a mirror, I'm like, oh, 7 years bad luck. I broke a mirror at True Grit when I had the shop. I absolutely went to go pull it off and it was like, psh, and I was like, all right, well,
God,
there goes that. But I didn't feel any bad energy towards it. So I just was like, man, and I used it.
I think that's more like
people are
superstition, right? Yes. Around like it's funny you say I never thought of cleansing, or it wasn't a thing to begin with, but I had a piece of furniture that I found out, I didn't realize, but that it was that brought in some pretty intense spirit energy. And if anybody that's listening, that's like, well, this is all silliness and bullshit, until you are affected by spirit.
Yeah.
There's no way to describe, or like, and there's nothing to excuse it away, or there's no like rational reason for when it is so blatantly like waking up with fingerprints on me and handprints that are bigger than my hands, like I have physical proof with pictures and stuff like that. And my mom had gone to a garage sale. I was about 17 years old and bought a couple pieces of furniture. And at the time nothing made us think that this is what it was. That wasn't even on the radar until a couple of years later. But the timeline is, this is when this came into our home. And all of a sudden, really, really eerie things would happen. And it never happened when my mom was home. It was always when she was out of the home. And I have friends that have been there and they stopped coming over when mom was not there because they were like, hell no. Like we had these metal curtains and it would be from the other room and it would be like, like someone running their hand on them, or like boom, 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 stomping upstairs and running back and forth, to the point where I got a hockey stick from our like thing and was like, someone's in the house, and like had the phone to call the cops. And like, we were just like, what the fuck is happening? Like so many shit. Anyways, so many things and so many shit. And moved away. Every time I'd come home for even a weekend, it all started again. I swear,
how old were you, Laurie?
Touching it. 17 when it started, then or 18, I guess it would have been. I can't remember, but it was the summer I graduated, so 2002. And then I moved away, or it happened all that year. I was home for a year, and it just wouldn't stop. That's with like the curtains and the stomping, and we had old toys would be going off in the closet, and the handprints, waking up with handprints on me, like that, like red welts, and they wouldn't be my hands. When I'd come home, it would and then when I moved away, it would happen only when I was around the house and came home, but not wherever I was living away. And then I moved to Grand Prairie like 3 years later, and I took some of this furniture that I had never taken with me before. And it started for the first time where I lived. And it would be like dishes would crash in the sink and I would go out startled, like, what the fuck? And there wouldn't be a dish in the sink. Like there was no dishes to crash. Oh. And lights would be on that I know were turned off, sort of thing. Right. And like, or just like I'd come and every door would be closed, which like I didn't close doors, like, your bedroom, bathroom, every door would be closed. And I was like, oh no, it's followed me. And so that's when I started doing like research, and then found out that, and obviously this isn't science based, but people being like, yeah, shit can live in furniture. They were like, the downside is it could live in something as small as an eraser. And I was like, for the love of God.
You should have put your furniture in the ocean.
Yeah,
well, didn't know
give it a soak.
Yeah, just so when I narrowed it down, bottle with salt water. Fuck this shit. Everybody's got to go.
I'm just gonna do it on myself next time, and then so narrowed it down to it was either a coat rack or this nightstand that came into the house around the time I graduated.
I bet on summer. Coat rack, suspect.
Seems suspect. So we just took them to the dump. We just immediately, took them, and
that soul's like
done.
Right?
It just stopped immediately. Yeah, then someone was like, "What a treasure!" at the dump.
Yeah,
brought it home.
rock. This is why you never take things home, people.
Yeah. It was done.
I feel sad. I've never had any haunted furniture.
Oh,
like I have a used couch, but like that
terrifying.
came with good vibes.
Did
but,
anything else haunt you? Anything at all, Krissy?
I mean, I feel like anything that I've ever had that I feel is in that realm of experience has more like Casper the Friendly Ghost vibes. Shocking. Yeah, like I
want
feel
those ones. I've got some of those too. But like, the ones that like get intrusive, the ones that like do very obvious things though, aren't usually the most friendly. That do like a, unless they're sending you a beautiful sign, but they don't fuck with your curtains. Someone's not like,
because you're the light.
I'm attuned
That's what
with energy for sure. So like, and I can tell, like, for example, this is like on the realm, everyone's going to think we're nuts if they don't subscribe to any of this. But like, even it's like if you have conversations with loved ones that aren't there, things like that. Like sometimes if I'm like in like such a state of flow or like that, it's like those tingles on the back of the neck that are beyond anything that you like would actually experience. Yes. I don't know. I'm kind of like, it's funny because my mom, interestingly enough, was very literal. And then she became very new age, like probably in my teen years. And it's interesting because now you see crystal shops and like everything in that wheelhouse. Didn't really when my mom subscribed to it. So like my mom was like, kind of like the weird one where I couldn't really tell anybody about her belief systems, if you think about it, because everyone was like, what the fuck is that? Whereas now it's quite mainstream, like especially like social media and stuff like that. But I've always been in conflict of like how I actually believe and then also not wanting to be my mom. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with who she is at all.
No, but you have
but I don't want to prove
the association.
It right. Like,
and yeah. It's funny they say new age because it's not new age. It's actually old age. It's 1,000%. Something that like goes culturally, like gets handed down. Yep. Westernized culture is the one that was like, nah, and two has pushed away spirituality because it doesn't serve
but yeah, I grew up on all that shit. Like my mom is actually a wealth of knowledge on like across the spectrum of subject matters of all of that. But the only like really big spirit thing that happened within our family was when my grandmother passed away. It was like one of those things as well. You knew that she was unwell, but it was very quick. Like it's not like the whole family was informed that it was imminent. And we had relatives that lived in Switzerland at the time. And their little baby that was 2 years old woke up in her crib, just pointing in the corner going, lady.
Oh my God.
That night. And then they got the call. I don't know.
Horror movies are made out of.
Right?
She was there.
Yeah.
Well,
speaking of spirits, let's go to Christmas spirit.
Christmas spirit. Christmas spirit. I got peppermint mocha coffee creamer.
Everyone's like, that was a hard left.
But like, segue was on point.
Spirit. Yeah,
that was amazing.
All right,
hey guys, I have a very important Christmas question. This might be the most important Christmas question.
Christmas.
I love me some
Did you lose your two front
Ask
teeth?
Somebody. Yeah, it seems.
Is it all you want for Christmas? My two front teeth.
She wants all the shits.
So, the Mariah Carey song. All I Want for Christmas. Krissy, who also just led into it in its own right, even though it's a different song. All I want for Christmas. That's not the tune. Are you a lover of the song? Does it get you going?
Yes.
Or are you like, if I have to hear that song one more time? Richelle,
no, wait. Mariah Carey is an absolute queen. She's like, Mariah Carey is like up there. You know what I mean? And I just love her. I went to a concert for her. My friend Kimiko and her mom, they invited me. It was Mariah Carey. I'll never forget it. I wore the weirdest outfit. I was so out of place, but man, I jammed that. I looked like a full Karen in the crowd. It was like full of all these eccentric, beautiful, amazing. And I was just like, with my bob and it was like an American Eagle cross knit.
Amazing. Yes. I know. I had that V-neck for sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know the one. And you're like, I was wearing like Nike, the pumps that had like the shock on it. It was like a Nike shock.
So you were the most stylish person there. Everyone else decided to look like each other. And you were like, I dare to be different.
I dare to look like a total wiener, but I was in it. And I love Mariah Carey. She's that bitch. I love her. I support it every time.
I love that song. It makes me feel like Christmas has began.
Just like the Elf movie.
Yeah. Elf
is that, that's another question we'll be asking.
So I'm in contrast. So I love the song, but I actually am not a Mariah Carey fan at all. I don't like, not her as a person. Like I actually just don't like a lot of her songs. And to be honest, it's the same. Oh, this is going to get me in trouble but it's not to upset. I have mad respect for Beyonce, but like same thing, like any like big power voices. It's not my like regular listening repertoire. I know they're very talented. I'm like I'm not a hater on it, but I'm just kind of like, is it in my playlist? No. That said, that song I love mainly because I have so many good memories attached to it. Like I remember when it came out, I think it would have I would have been in high school at that point.
Me too, yeah.
And so I just have so many good winter memories attached to it of traveling to events and holidays with friends. And it's just that nostalgic time of your life. So it's a nostalgic memory song for me, but not a Mariah fan.
See, I always loved her Dream Lover days. You know, the jeans that time, all her videos where she had the butterfly tops and her jeans. It was back in the early 2000s, late 90s. That
she was like washing cars.
That was she was like, wow, she's washing cars.
Weren't they all?
That was my big Mariah Carey. When and I still love those songs, but I didn't really carry through with her. I'm with you in the sense where like
You didn't carry for Carrie?
I didn't carry for Carrie past that. Although, fun fact.
Cannot with you two. I am appalled and I am mad.
I'm gonna share a fun fact that'll make you you can live vicariously through. I got to full blown say hello to Mariah Carey. We were walking through at the same time a hotel. I know her face. We were walking through a lobby here in Vancouver. We're walking through the lobby and there was like a guy walking and he had this kid on his shoulders. And of course, me loving kids, I was like, how cute is that? And then I realized like the other kid had the matching pajamas and then she was talking to her kids and I'm like, I know that voice. And so as we're passing each other, like you would pass somebody walking past quite close. I just like looked, I'm like, holy shit, that's Mariah Carey. So I in this voice and I go, oh, hey there, Mariah Carey. And she's like, oh, hey there. I was like,
she did not.
You. Yeah. Because I was like, I see you. I know who you are. This is crazy, but I'm not going to like interrupt your life and like be that
that's
person.
Nice.
But
that's
I also
like
want to
Vancouver.
Be like, so I was like, oh, hey there, Mariah Carey. Like, she's like, oh, hey there. Yeah, it was crazy.
I can't with that. I cannot.
Next.
Go for it, Richelle.
Krissy.
Okay.
Me, no, you go. You go.
This is going to be curious because depending on where you were geographically located as a child, I don't know how much you did this. I mean, Laurie, you for sure good, but now I'm like, anyways. Do you have any what's your best sledding memory? Like tobogganing.
We grew up on a hill, like a giant hill, and that was our backyard.
Yeah.
And there's two memories. One is building this epic jump and taking our GTs off of it, and just like you just felt like you were an absolute Evel Knievel superhero going off this shit. Which it probably like gave me like a foot of air, but I felt like I was just like, woof.
Especially on a snow racer.
Yeah.
Those were the shit.
The plastic breaking as you come down. The other one was we would see how far we could go with the momentum. And see, so you went down this giant hill and then it went down and it flattened out for a bit. And then it went down a really steep little hill into the ditch and then up a steep thing and then across this like main road. I think I did talk about this one before.
That sounds safe.
And we would, as kids,
awesome.
We were like, we knew from the parents that like, you don't do that. This is off, limits. You stop yourself. And like, it's quite a bit of a flat area. So most of the time there's no way you could, unless you kept going and walked your, toboggan to that next major hill to the ditch. But when it would get kind of icy out and slick, oh, you could just go forever. And so I was a kid and I was like, I'm doing it. Today's the day. I'm going to make it all the way across that road and then down on the other side of the ditch. And so, yeah, I'm going. Yeah. Oh, I make it to that other steep little hill down into the ditch and up and over. And you do like a quick little look back and forth for cars and everything. And all of a sudden I could just hear this faint screaming, yelling from the deck of our house. And I was like, oh no, my mom saw it from the window and she's like, Laurie, get up and in the house. And I was just like, oh, I tried to stop myself. It was just too fast. Meanwhile, I was like, so those are my favorite was like, I made it over the road and the epic jumps that we would build.
Was it worth every bit of effort?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Because look I'm still holding on to that triumphant memory.
Truth.
So
that is 100%. So epic. That is so epic. I feel like here in Vancouver, I don't know where all the cool hills are. We had, when I worked at the movie theater, we need to go find them. When I worked at the movie theater, I remember we tried to make efforts to make it as slippery as we could. So what we did, I only remember this one time, we took the giant, like they were like square or rectangular ice blocks. And after work one day, we all grabbed one and we rode those down a hill.
Wow.
Like a bag of ice?
No, it was like an ice block. Like a big block that you could like turn into like almost like a sled. The movie theater when I worked at Silver Seal.
Right. You got it from the movie theater. There we go.
Yeah. And they were so solid that you could go as far as like freaking forever away and they wouldn't melt because they were giant blocks. And I remember we did that and they were like, yeah, we do this every year. And I was like, this is freaking awesome. Like, I can't believe you guys do this.
You made your own, like who needs snow on the hill? You're like, we got our own.
The hill was so tiny though. I feel like it was like, you were like, okay, that was great. Yeah.
I know it is such a different experience living here versus places that have it all the time.
I forget that. I forget that like, it's not because there was some pretty epic sledding hills in our town. There was. I'm actually planning on doing it this Christmas.
As you should.
Yeah.
Where's the sled hills?
I don't know. I'm going to Google them here.
I can tell you one of them because it's actually one of my favorite memories because this is what's so funny. Like I have obviously tons of sledding memories growing up in Ontario. So much fun. Adulthood, beer boggening, a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Couple broken fingers and shit for people for sure. But as much as those are all amazing, my favorite memory happened, it would have been like 2 or 3 years ago when we had one of, yet again, those freakish snowfalls in Vancouver. And we were living where the seawall was super accessible. So we went for like a nice winter walk in the snow and walked up to the Sunset Beach area. And the hill there, it honestly was the fucking best. Like, it's not even that it's that massive, but there were so many people out and the ingenuity of what they were using as toboggans because we don't get snow really here, right? So like, it's not like people are like, oh, I got my flying saucer hanging in the corner and my GT snow racer on the wall. So it was like lids of those giant Tupperware boxes that you would store camping equipment. Right. There were people that were wrapping themselves up in tarps, just like a burrito and going down the hill like that. Garbage bags. And so I honestly was getting such a laugh over their enjoyment. And the best part, I would say like the average age was like 30 to 60 out there. Like it wasn't a hill because of what the neighborhood is. There's not a lot of children. So it was just a bunch of adults living out their best life. And I just literally sat back and I took in the scene for an obnoxious amount of time because it was so entertaining. Like the joy was infectious.
I'm excited to go sledding with y'all.
Yes. I want to do tubing as well. Like on
tubing is so
Seymour,
fun.
Cyprus. I haven't done it in several years now. And it's such a riot.
It's so good. I think Cyprus has really good ones, right? Or is it Seymour that has really good ones?
Yeah.
I think Seymour has the one that pulls you back up. They've got
That's what I want.
Carpet.
It's like going back up that hill. Like I want to just the laziest route as possible.
Yeah. Ride me up on that carpet, the magic carpet ride. Yeah. Okay.
I could do a lot of with that. I'm going to leave it right there.
You just went off-roading with the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and myself, Krissy Vann.
And of course, a special thank you to Richelle from True Get Moto.
Whoop, boss it.
Never miss an episode by hitting like or subscribe. Connect with us on Instagram at Motovation Podcast and visit our website at themotovation.com. And in the meantime, full tanks, full throttle.
I think this is good though. It's like healthy, you know, like people will be like, oh my God, I don't floss.
Plus, it's going to be so hard not to laugh to get through this intro.